David and Vanessa Hildreth are passionate about the Romney breed and the genetic gains they can create from their Romney stud. They have a large-scale, high-tech ram breeding operation based at Glenross Station in Hawke's Bay.
We've built the stud up to 3,000 recorded Romney ewes now, and they're all electronically tagged. We've had many opportunities to deviate from what we're doing. I mean, there's been a lot of different breeds come into New Zealand, and we've looked at them and we've looked at their desirable traits and undesirable traits, but we've been pretty focused on what we've got with the Romney breed, and we look at our animals and we're proud of them and we know they perform, so we've really stuck to our guns on what they can achieve. We've got Glenross Station here, which is 460 hectares, which we bought 5 years ago. We originally started at Sheridan. We sold that property to get more scale, and now we've also got two adjoining properties that are just down the road, another 250 hectares down in Corbin Road, and then another 200 hectares at Kaya down the bottom of the road here. Basically, our whole operation's centred around the Romney stud, which is 3,000 ewes. We have got a South Suffolk stud of 120 ewes, which we bought last year to fit in with our stud breeding operation. We've developed this property, we've done a lot of development. You know, when we first got here, there was big paddocks, so we've done 10 kilometres of fencing and 16 kilometres of water pipe and 85 troughs, and so we've had to do it quite quickly to get this business operational for the ram stud business. The Romney breed has probably gone in 10 different directions. I mean, if you were to go to the show ring type Romney, it's a totally different type of animal to ours. We've developed, through performance recording, quite a mobile, agile type, open-faced Romney, because we're selling a lot of rams to hill country in Wanganui, Ratahi, Taipi, Wairau, so they have to be a very easy care, easy to look after, low-cost animal. We're finding now that structural soundness and constitution is one of the big requirements from people now. Well, we're nearly just selling under the 1,000 Romney rams around New Zealand, and we're selling 50-odd South Suffolk. So, you know, the business certainly has grown the last few years, and we feel now that we've got the right sort of product for farmers. Our main focus, of course, on the rate of genetic gain. What influences on the rate of genetic gain is how much selection pressure we can put on our animals. And now that we've got 3,000 very good top quality ewes, you know, in the old days we could only keep 2 to 3 rams out of the top 10 on the SIL index because of all the other structural things weren't quite right. Well, now we're keeping 8 rams out of the top 10. And also we've got a huge diversity of performance. We're getting rid of the bottom end performers, but we've still got a huge diversity of performance through our flock. So we've still got these top performing ewes that we can still bring the average up to. And of course the heritability of all these traits mean if we can focus on one or two, like fertility and growth rate, and really home in on them, we can make huge genetic gain. Come on. And now with the EID we weigh pre-mating, post-mating, all the ewes at weaning and all the lambs at weaning, and plus a condition score on the ewes at docking time. So we're actually getting a weight of lamb weaned per ewe live weight. And we've also been using the FarmX program to really make sure that we're getting all the efficiencies right. And the key to this is really feeding all these high-performance ewes at the right time through the year, okay? And that's a big thing that we've been learning. And it's probably one of the biggest weaknesses in farming systems is the monitoring of when ewes should be fed, and especially getting ewes up to those good high mating weights and then feeding them up in the first 3 or 4 weeks of lactation as well. You know, actually measuring and monitoring in the FarmX thing has certainly brought that to light, how we've been underfeeding our animals, really. You know, you've got to feed them those critical times leading up to mating and late pregnancy, and just the lamb drop in those first 3 weeks. You know, if the lambs can get going really well then, you know, they just stoke along all the way to weaning, and, you know, it's the difference between getting 10% lambs off the mother or getting 40 or 50% off their mothers, and that's all money straight in the bank. We single sire mate them all, but after mating, we actually put them in a mob of 3,000 and rotate them round, just like a commercial farmer would. We also rotate the ewe hoggets round in a mod mob and the ram hoggets as well. So, and the more genetic gain you want to make, the more sort of pressure you have to put on them as well. I mean, if we were to feed them very, very well all the time, it sort of disguises what sort of the genetics, actual genetics of those animals, and it's not a true and realistic reflection of how a farmer in Wanganui would actually be farming them. And now with the information we got, you need at least 5 years of information through SIL to really get a true picture of how the survival's going, just to take the odd storm out of the equation, you know. So you get a good overall picture of survival, which has actually become a very important issue. And in terms of the longevity of the ewes, if we're lambing hoggets, you've got to be able to make sure the ewe lasts at the other end. And again, it's all about feeding at the right times with good quality feed. The constitution was one of the key things we've already done for the last 40 years, but the structure we've noticed, we did swap a lot of rams with a lot of other breeders. We did bring a lot of different faults in, and now the structural soundness of the animal, where we turn over every ram hogget through the Hector handler pre-sale and check the feet and the teeth and everything else about that animal. So there's not one ram that gets sold that we couldn't say to ourselves, we would use that ram ourselves. Well, you know, the fleece is the most visual part of it, so we still focus on the quality of the fleece. I mean, that's got lovely crimp all the way through to the end of the fibre, and it's good length, and it's good even fleece right over the animal. I mean, there's no weakness or weak back or anything. It's well covered. She's getting nice and clear around the points. And of course, the feet we've been very fussy on. She's got beautiful feet. But we, as I said, we go through all our rams and check all their feet. And we make sure that they have basically got A feet. Anything that's B feet or B minus, they're gone. With all the data that we've collected over 45 years, we've got information that can tell us, well, especially mainly from 1990, which is the most accurate information we can get. It basically tells the overall production index. The progeny has gone up from $15 in value, but the same level of feeding from where it was back in 1990. And for weaning weight, we've gone up nearly 5 kilos or 4.5 kilos of weaning weight. So instead of weaning 30 kilos, we'll be weaning 34.5. And that's at the same level of feeding. So that's your genetic growth. And so every ram operation should be able to tell you that. When we come to ram selling time, all our ram clients, when they come to buy their rams, are already sorted up on the index. They get one of these ram selection indexes, and it has all this background information, and so it gives it the fertility, the weaning weight breeding values, the fleece weight breeding values. So it's not just on the individual ram, but it's all the background and all its family history. So the top rams have got good individual performance and good history as well. So they are going to pass all their good traits on. So it's important to have the background as well. Well, you can always do better. We're very proud of where we've got to. You know, a 2% rate of genetic gain over 45 years gives you a 250% lift in production, which is huge. I mean, it doesn't sound a lot on a per annual basis, but compounding over 45 years, that's incredible. And any ram buyer now just basically links straight into our performance levels.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.